For what, over 60 years now, hormonal contraception has been a total game changer. It's given women this incredible control over their reproductive health, and honestly, it's one of the most widely used medications on the entire planet.
And I'm not exaggerating. Globally, we're talking about more than 300 million women who rely on hormonal contraceptives. That is a staggering number of people whose bodies are being shaped by this technology every single day.
And when you think about that kind of scale, it just naturally brings up some really important questions, right? I mean, beyond its main job of preventing pregnancy, what else is the pill doing? What are some of the more subtle, more complex, and often overlooked effects it might be having on the body and mind?
So let's dive in. We're going to start with the big picture questions. Then we'll explore its really complicated relationship with sexuality. From there, we'll look at a pretty surprising connection to nutrients, and then some absolutely fascinating new research on stress and inflammation. And to wrap it all up, we'll try to figure out what all this might mean for you. Okay, first up, the pill's big questions. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, a little context is key. To really get a handle on the questions we're asking today, we kind of need to see where this all started. This whole journey kicked off more than a century ago, with a pretty simple dream of reliable contraception. By 1960, that dream became a reality, and the pill, as it came to be known, just fundamentally reshaped society. But here's the wild part. Even after all this time, our understanding is still evolving. New research is constantly uncovering this incredible range of biological impacts.
Next up, let's talk about one of the most personal and honestly one of the most debated topics out there, sexuality on the pill. It's a question so many people have, but the answers? Well, they're far from simple.
When you start digging into the research, there's one word that just keeps popping up again and again: controversial. This quote from a 2017 review nails it. Different studies find completely conflicting results, and if you ask people about their personal experiences, they're all over the map. So what is actually going on inside the body?
Well, a key player here is this protein called SHBG. Think of it like a taxi for your hormones. The synthetic estrogen in most pills basically tells your liver to create a lot more of these SHBG taxis. And what they do is they go around and pick up testosterone, which means there's less of it free and available to do its job. For some people, that can have an impact on libido.
And this is really where the science gets so tricky. I mean, you have some studies that clearly link pill use to things like decreased libido and vaginal dryness. But then you have other studies that find the complete opposite, that certain formulations can actually improve sexual function or have no effect at all. It really drives home a key point. The specific type of pill you're on matters immensely, and so does your own individual biology.
All right, let's shift gears for Section 3, nutrients. Turns out, the pill's influence doesn't just stop with hormones. It can also have a pretty surprising effect on how your body processes the essential nutrients you get from your diet.
So the synthetic hormones in the pill have to be processed by your body, especially by your liver and your digestive system, and that whole process can sometimes interfere with the way certain vitamins and minerals are absorbed, metabolized, and actually put to use by your cells. And the list of nutrients that can be affected is actually pretty significant. We're talking about crucial B vitamins for energy, plus key minerals like magnesium, selenium, and zinc that are involved in pretty much everything, from your immune function to your mood. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone on the pill is automatically deficient, but it does shine a light on a potential extra demand that's being placed on the body, which is just important to be aware of.
Okay, this next section on stress and inflammation. This is where things get really fascinating. A recent UCLA study uncovered some seriously surprising differences in how women on the pill respond to stress, right down to the molecular level. You're going to want to hear this.
So what the researchers did was they put women through a stress test and then measured their inflammatory markers. And what they found was pretty mind-blowing. The women on the pill produced more of this inflammatory protein called TNF-alpha. But the naturally cycling women, they had a totally different response, producing more of a protein called interleukin-6. This suggests the pill might be fundamentally changing the body's immediate inflammatory reaction to stress.
So, what does that actually mean for how you feel? Well, the study's lead author pointed out this potential disconnect. Even though their bodies were pumping out stress hormones, the women on the pill reported feeling worse emotionally. This quote really gets to the heart of it. The pill might be preventing the body and the mind from syncing up and getting back to normal after a stressful event.
So, after exploring sexuality and nutrients and this new research on stress, we arrive at the million-dollar question. What does all this mean for you? How in the world are you supposed to navigate all this complexity?
At the end of the day, it really boils down to a few key ideas. First off, your experience is your own. There is no one-size-fits-all response here.
And remember, the science is still playing catch-up, and not all pills are created equal. This is why the single most important takeaway is to have an open, collaborative conversation with your doctor. They're the ones who can help you weigh all these factors against your personal health history to find what's truly right for you.
Ultimately, this deeper look into the pill isn't about giving you simple answers, because, frankly, there aren't any. It's about empowering you with better questions. It highlights that being informed and really staying tuned into your own body is the most powerful tool you have. So the real final question is for you. Knowing all this complexity, how can you best advocate for your own health?